Welcome to the Lifestyle Medicine Update. I'm Dr. James Meschino. The research in the spotlight today was published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute in April of 2014. It's a very large study that showed that women who consume the highest amount of fat, and especially saturated fat in their diet, have up to a 50% increased risk for breast cancer compared to women eating the least amount of total fat and saturated fat. Now, the study analyzed data from over 10,000 breast cancer patients from the EPIC study, following these women for an average of 11.5 years as a follow-up. Now, the EPIC study has been following over 300,000 women living in 10 different European regions. Now, the EPIC acronym really represents the European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition. So they just call it the EPIC study. But it's a study following people over a long period of time, looking at the relationship between cancer and nutrition. It's one of the largest human cancer studies that's ever been undertaken. So we believe that the results are extremely meaningful. Now, many previous human studies, as well as animal studies, have shown that a high total fat diet, and especially saturated fat, increases risk of breast cancer. So the EPIC study researchers pointed out that breast cancer is divided into various subclasses of disease. So if a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer, then she's told whether or not it's estrogen receptor positive or negative. Is it progesterone receptor positive or negative? And is it HER2 positive or HER2 negative? So HER2 represents a type of a little receptor on the cell, and when you have more of these HER2 receptors, it tends to send signals to the cell to make it divide at a faster rate, which increases risk of cancer, as well as if you have cancer, it'll make the cancer cells divide faster, making it more aggressive. So the EPIC study showed this, that a high total fat diet, and especially saturated fat, seems to increase the risk for estrogen and progesterone receptor positive cancer, breast cancer, and that saturated fat in particular increases the risk of the very aggressive form of HER2 positive breast cancer. So in fact, it seems that saturated fat may actually cause the overexpression of the HER2 receptor in the first place, which then increases the risk of this very aggressive form of breast cancer. Only 10 to 20% of breast cancer is known to be due to genetic inheritance. So that means at least 80% of breast cancer is coming from other things. So the findings of the EPIC study are very meaningful because it showed that a really high total fat diet, and saturated fat in particular, increases risk of breast cancer by itself by 50% according to their results. So as a means to prevent breast cancer, I've always encouraged women, due to the emerging evidence that we saw over a long period of time, to eliminate these high-fat foods from their diet that have a lot of saturated fat and a lot of the bad fats. So that would mean eliminating or reducing all beef products, pork products, high-fat dairy products, deep-fried foods, creamy salad dressings, breaded meats, high-fat pastries, and so on. Because this is primarily where the bad fats are lurking that increase the risk of heart disease and certain types of cancer, including breast cancer, according to the EPIC study and some other studies. So I hope you'll pay heed to these findings and share this information with other women that you know. I've included the research reference to this study in the text below. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.